Hey, it's John Terry with Vision Advisors, and welcome to another Insight with Vision. I'm very excited to have back with us today Susie Bills. If you missed her first podcast that we did with her where we talked about Social RX Agency and what her organization can do to have an opportunity to get you not just on social media, but to make you an authority figure and an expert, let me encourage you to go visit our YouTube library and reach out and watch that podcast. Or if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or any of the places that our podcasts are, go back and catch that prior episode of Insight. Today, we want to spend a few minutes kind of doing a Q&A about an area that I think is important, because one of the things that we do here at Vision Advisors in working with financial advisors is many of them want to grow their practice and they want to see a significant level of success in what they do. But oftentimes, one of the major hindrances to that and one of the major bottlenecks is you as the entrepreneur. Because the vast majority of you working in this industry, you're entrepreneurs, you're movers, you're shakers, but you believe you've got to do everything yourself. And as a result of that, you oftentimes don't have the staff in place or the resources available to free you up so that you can do what you do best. And that's to be belly to belly, face to face, or video to video with a consumer, having an opportunity to talk about a sales opportunity, meeting with a client to do a review and talking about the next problem they need you to solve, gaining referrals, and doing things that are sales-based activities. And one of the areas when I talk to producers and I say, you need to hire some staff, the comment is, John, I can't afford to hire staff. And as a result of that, you begin to hit this lid in your ability to grow your practice, because as a one-man shop or a one-woman shop, you're limited into the things that you can do if you're trying to be the jack of all trades and the master of none. One of my mentors is John Maxwell, and one of the things I hear John say all the time when he refers back to the Pietro principle, the 80-20 rule, is if somebody can do something 80% as good as you can, let them do that. And then you focus on the 20% of things that you do better than anything else and put your time and energy and efforts there. You will make more money and you will be more successful if you do that. Now, the question always comes up, where do I hire qualified staff and how can I afford to hire staff? That's what we want to talk about today, because Susie has a company that deals with virtual assistants and being able to hire competent individuals that can handle many of the service and back-end administrative related functions of your agency, so that you've got an opportunity to go and do what you do, but know that you've got a quality person behind you that can help you, but also isn't going to break the bank when it comes to having to pay for those services. So, Susie, thanks for joining us again. Can you take a few minutes and talk about the virtual RX agency and what it brings to the table?
Yes, thank you, John. Sure. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I will give a quick little tidbit here. For about 4 years, almost 5 years, I have a social media management company. And during that time working with clients, they started asking me if I could do other things, working on a website, helping with their CRM, just help emails, customer service, and all these other tasks that as entrepreneurs, we really do become the bottleneck, right? We can't do them quick enough, and we always feel like we're behind or overwhelmed. And at that point, I didn't do any of those services, so I would refer them out. And then I thought, well, maybe I should check it out, and maybe we can do this, right? So I thought I'll test that theory I had in my own business. I hired a virtual assistant, and literally within 90 days when she came in, because again, I did everything myself, she started putting in little procedures and systems, right, and standard operating procedures of how things were done. And all of a sudden, I was able to, so many more sales calls, and just even my social media part, right? Like building relationships and just having more time to be that sales type person and talk more about business. So I was able to scale very, very quickly in my social media management company with just by hiring. This is amazing, and I do need to share this and build this out for all of my social media clients. So that's how it started. And so fast forward now, about 2 years, we have a pool of virtual assistants, primarily based in the Philippines and Latin America. I currently live in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, so I have a team here. And what we are able to do is to come into people's businesses and partner with them and get rid of all those daily tasks that are just slowing you down, help with technology. Some people, the tech of even social media or just their website or their CRM, that type of tech can really slow people down or take them down. So our virtual assistants are general in nature, meaning they have experience in lots of different softwares, lots of different tasks, administrative, customer service, social media, all of these tasks that they can come in and help you with. And so we are able to kind of manage that for you. So we will work with you to find out exactly what you need and then matching process with who we think will be the best fit from our pool that we've already vetted. So they all speak excellent English. They have at least 2 to 3 years of actual experience as a VA, right, with the services all, and then we put them through our own training, and then targeting. I like to use them in my business first. So I always train people to do certain tasks, right? Like figuring out or going through emails and things like that. But there's some personality traits I'm looking for someone to be able to be on our team, right? So that's, work ethic. That is attention to detail. That's really that are super important, as you know, in business. And so those are what I really strive and people I want to build my team with. So then I can share those confidently with our clients. So that is what we do. We have a lot of different types of businesses, but it really comes down to most businesses have 3 or 4 areas that they all need help in, right? And so that is always administrative, customer service, always lead generation, and now always, so if it's not social media content, it's social media lead generation. It's doing the social part if you need help with interacting with client, with connections and building relationships. Those things can all be done by a virtual assistant. And so obviously our team that are located in different parts of the world, we're able to pay them a really great wage for their living, right? I'm able to offer my clients a great service at a great price for them while still remaining profitable. So that was the part that I needed to try and figure out back at the beginning. I needed to make sure it was a full win for everybody that was involved. And so that's what we've created, and that's what we share with people now. And it really can be business transforming for many people, and life changing in the respect that as business owners, sometimes our business overtakes our life because we are still trying to do all those tasks that we have to do. So it can really free up time to spend more time with your family, maybe spend more time on your health, things like that. And then of course, spend more time creating more sales. That is how we do it.
Absolutely. And work-life balance is so important. I remember when I got started as an entrepreneur, my dad told me, he said, well, I've got good news and bad news. He says, the good news is, as an entrepreneur, you're only going to work half a day. The question is, are you going to work the first 12 or the second 12 of the day? And he says, sometimes you'll work both.
Yeah.
And I laughed at that. But, as you have a conversation about this, I know I can hear because this is an on-demand recording, we don't have any live questions, but I can hear the wheels turning in the minds of a producer that is looking at this. And one of the things that they're thinking is, I don't have enough stuff for someone to do. But as you were going through and you were talking about the fact that they can do all the administrative functions of operating your business, they can handle customer service. They can work in the area of social media and lead gen. They can manage your calendar on your behalf so that you've got an opportunity to know your appointments, to be able to schedule the follow-ups, to send the reminders to your clients that, hey, you've got a webinar you scheduled to attend, or you're supposed to be at this dinner event, or this agent is coming to see you at this particular time, or you're coming to the office. Now those reminders that you tend to forget because you're busy doing 100 other things and all these balls are in the air you're trying to juggle as a solopreneur. Now you've got somebody to hold you accountable, but to also manage your business. Because one of the things that Susie said early, I think is important, is she mentioned systems and processes. And one of the things that we teach in our attractional advisor model is you've got to learn to think and act like the top 5% of sales professionals if you want to be in the top 5% of sales professionals. And the top 5% of all sales professionals have systems and processes in place that govern their daily activities and that do so antiseptically and automatically without fail so that they can be successful. And those systems and processes can be managed and tweaked and adjusted to fine-tune your success. This becomes the linchpin to make sure those systems and processes are done. Now, Susie, one of the things I know is going to come up in the questions that some of them are going to have is, I don't maybe not have enough business for a full-time assistant right now, but I could hire somebody part-time. I know you guys have a part-time program and a full-time program. Can you talk about the difference between the two?
Right. Yeah, so we try to keep it really simple. And first I'll kind of touch on about people not thinking they have enough time for an assistant. Sometimes that comes up with part-time. So part-time is 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and then full-time is 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So in my experience, if you are a business owner doing business, right? It's not just a hobby. You definitely 4 hours a day. It sounds like a lot. It's not a lot.
That's right.
Sign up for 4 hours, and which is a great way to dip your toe in. But most people by the second month they've upgraded to full time, because it happens. For perspective, right minute you think, well, yeah, I have some emails and I have some follow up, but oh wait, you can do that too, and then things start popping in your mind, like maybe I don't have to do those follow-up calls, right? Your VA can make the follow-up calls. So all these things start realizing, oh my gosh, someone do this for me. And so very quickly you realize that you probably have more and more things to do. So so a great place to start, 4 hours a day. And what we do once we decide to work together is, we have the conversation and the Zoom, and we learn more about your business, and we help you figure out, if you want to call them buckets, or of tasks, right? So the admin bucket, and then you have the customer service bucket, and you have the follow-up bucket, and what needs to be done every day. So we can help figure out how that needs to work for you. So every day, what you need done. So, and that's definitely 4 hours a day is a great place to start. If you're a business person that is not just a hobby. Yeah.
And so if we looking at that, one of the things I thought about as you were talking is a lot of producers today, as we're getting into this new world of technology that we're dealing with, but also a new regulatory world where we're having much more obligations on us, like having a CRM. Many producers have operated off of a Rolodex, or they've operated off of just, their calendar smartphone, or they've got folks in Outlook. But really being able to take that information and merge that into a CRM. We have a free CRM system that we make available to producers that they can use, has marketing elements built into it. But having someone begin to aggregate that data and put it in, and then link those systems together so that they're working. Now that virtual assistant, as you said, can do the follow-up calls, can help remind folks of appointments that are coming up, can actually schedule the follow-ups on your behalf, can make the reminder phone calls, send the reminder emails, follow up with an insurance carrier, follow up with a paramedical examiner on an exam that's being done that an insurance company needs to issue a life insurance policy. There's a significant number of things that virtual assistant can do, and take those things off your plate so that you can spend more time in those money-making activities that give you a chance to grow your practice from maybe $1 million a year to 2 or 3, because now you have margin to be able to make that happen. And one of the things that I have seen is people that have either hired an assistant, either virtually or a live assistant in their office, their productivity almost immediately increases 20 to 30%, because now they've got the capacity to take on those additional tasks, to do those additional things, to start a podcast, to begin to write a blog, begin to do those other things for client engagement they haven't had time to do. And now all of a sudden they're able to get their fingers into different areas of marketing to expand their practice they haven't done before. Now, Susie, you've got a 4 hour a day, 5 days a week, and 8 hour a day. What's the difference in price between those two? And what are we looking as far as cost?
Yeah, so for the part-time, 4 hours a day is $600 a month. So that comes out to about to $750 an hour. And we double it for full-time. So again, just 8 hours a day and 1,200 a month. And keep in mind that some of the great things about that is you're not having to do payroll tax, right, or payroll at all, any of these other insurances or anything else that comes along with hiring an actual person, right, to come in and be your assistant, your employee. So that's the total cost for you. And no same thing, no long-term contracts. We really enjoy working with people who are enjoying working with us and that we're able to make a difference in their business. So month to month, that's how we roll with that.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and we were working on something, and he sent me an Adobe Sign agreement that he needed to have signed. And as I was looking at it, so there was a couple things wrong on the contract. And I said, mentioned to him, I said, I need these things fixed. He says, let me have my virtual assistant do that. He said, she does that better than I do. He said, now she's located in the Philippines.
Yeah.
He said she will be working on that because she works for me at night. He said, I've hired somebody that I give her my stuff at the end of the day. She works for me at night, does all my paperwork. And then when I come in, I've got everything ready to go the next morning. And sure enough, the next morning I had the document not only with the corrections, but she had completely retyped it. It was neat. It was professional. And it was a much better thing than he'd just done on the fly sending it to me.
Right.
But that virtual assistant thing stuck out because I thought, this is a guy who's extremely successful. He's a 7-figure entrepreneur, and he uses a virtual assistant in his business because he's found that he can make a difference in somebody's life, but also have the ability to manage his outbound cost and still have the autonomy to do things the way he wants them done. So I applaud him for that and applaud you for doing that. Now, if somebody has an interest in maybe seeing if a virtual assistant's right, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you, Susie, if they've got some questions? Do they need to go to your website, which is thevirtualrxagency.com?
Yep, that's perfect. And on that website, there's a services tab you can click on, and it'll give you several different lists of tasks a VA can do for you. And that's just a great place for people to look to get kind of the ideas kind of rolling in their mind, and give you examples of it. It's not an exhaustive list, but it definitely can spark some ideas for you. And then there's definitely a button on there. I think it says schedule a call. So you can click on that. You can click a consultation on my calendar. Yep, there we are. And and then we can get on the phone and kind of talk more specifics about your particular business. Again, it's usually those type of tasks that we talked about, right? Admin, customer service, lead generation, and probably social media, where we can start really making the most difference in your business quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen that are having an opportunity to watch this through video, you can see the contact information there. For those of you that are listening to this via audio podcast, it's thevirtualrxagency.com. No spaces, THE, thevirtualrxagency.com. And if you go and click on the contact tab, you'll have an opportunity there to be able to see how to schedule a call and have an opportunity to talk with Susie or someone on her team. And they can explain to you who they are, what they're about, and how they can help you. And that's something I would encourage you to do, because if you are unwilling to get yourself out of the way, again, you've created a lid in how far you're going to be able to grow in your practice. And remember, the top 5% use systems and processes, and they put competent people in place to run those systems antiseptically and automatically to see success. And it's one of the things that we teach and preach here at Vision Advisors in helping you get to that top 5% status in your practice. And that's having an opportunity to do what you do best and build a team of people around you that can support you. And this is a very cost-effective way and an efficient way to make that happen. Susie, as we wrap this up, any last-minute comments or anything you want to say about the guys and gals that you've got involved with your organization?
I will say that the VAs that we have are, I don't know if anybody has any experience with, sometimes thinking about working with people in a different country does make people nervous often. And so I would just like to encourage you to maybe your mind a little bit to that, because the people that we have, the relationships that we have built, and the the experiences that we've had with working with people all over internationally has been amazing. And I would really like to share that with you. So I just like to point that out, that even though it might make you a little nervous or uncomfortable, give me a call and we can work through that. And I think you'll be very, very pleased with our.
Exactly. And the fact that you've
Jane,
got
you having
you've
me
got
on here.
multilingual people, especially those that speak Spanish, for those that are
Right.
in different parts of the country where there are a lot of Spanish speaking people here in the United States, that can be an extreme value add. You now have somebody linked to your office that's bilingual. I've got a beautiful wife from
Yeah.
Costa Rica that if I run
Cool.
into a situation I need to speak Spanish, I lean on her because I don't. I mean, I'm in trouble. I can
Right.
ask her where the bathroom is and say I love you, and that's about it. Uh, and those, that's it. I've been to several, Central American countries, but it also
Yeah.
gives you the ability to have people working in different time zones. So if you need stuff
Exactly.
done at night and you need somebody that can manage things at night, then maybe there's someone in the Philippines that can handle that for you. Or if you need someone that's going to be available during your normal course of business hours, that can be part of the conversation so that you get the
Exactly.
VA that works based upon your wants and needs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Cool. Well, Susie,
Thank
I want to
you.
say thank you for being with us. And oh, by the way, now if they do the $1,200 a month, 8-hour program, are there any additional benefits that they get out of that if they buy somebody
Yeah.
for 8 hours?
Yeah. We do. Since the other side of my business, social media management company, we can handle your social media content for you at no additional charge. So typically when we take on a new social media client, our entry package is $299. So what we do for people that hire a full-time VA to encourage that, because of course we want our VAs to have full-time work, right? And we will just throw in, for lack of a better term, your social media content across Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram Monday through Friday. So our social media team will create custom content for you, then help build your audiences and your online presence on your social media platforms as well.
Absolutely. I did want to get that out there because we've done a
Yes.
separate Insight podcast for those of you that hadn't had an opportunity to see that. We talked about that at the beginning. But if you want to find out what all is in that, go back and watch that podcast or listen to it on iTunes or Spotify to learn more about that. But for $1,200 a month, you're getting an 8-hour-a-day virtual assistant and a team that's also going to be managing your social media and generating leads and growing your tribe of followers on social media. That's a really good deal. And it's an opportunity for you to up level your business. And if you do the math and figure out what it's going to cost to pay for that, it's not a significant amount of production. If you can write one application, additional annuity application, typical commission on that is typically going to pay for about 6 months of a full-time employee. So if you only write an additional 2 apps a year, having freed up 8 hours a day of administrative work that's not making you money, can you write at least 2 more apps a year to pay for that? If you can only write 2 more apps, you're not a very good salesperson. You should be able to go write much more business. But let's say you're doing $1 million a year in premium, and you can do another $200,000 a year in business coming in. Instead of making $1 million a year, now you're making $1.2 million, and you're hiring somebody to do that. What an opportunity there to hire someone, do something great for them, and get some great help at the same time.
Awesome. Love that. That's great.
It's a great opportunity. So let me encourage you to take a look at that. Reach out to Susie and her team. Schedule an interview. Again, it's thevirtualrxagency.com. And it's a great resource that we encourage you to take a look at here at Vision Advisors. If you got questions you want to talk to us about us, you can reach us at Vision Advisors. 1-800-505-8489 is the number here. Again, 1-800-505-8489. Or you can go to our website, visionadvisorsinc.com. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage, and there you'll see my contact info, my calendar, as well as all of our business consultants. And you can schedule a call with one of us to talk about how we can help you grow your practice, implement virtual RX agency, implement social RX agency, and the other tools and resources we have to get you to that top 5% producer level. So on behalf of all of us here at Vision and Virtual RX Agency, I'm John Terry with Vision Advisors. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.